Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm sharing a deeply personal and emotional story that has left me shaken and confused. It's a story I never thought I'd be telling, but I feel that it's important to speak up about. So let's dive into this journey.
I never imagined I'd find myself in this situation. My name is Lyndon, I'm 24, and I've been happily married to Bridget for almost 2 years. Or at least, I thought I was happy. Recently, everything I thought I knew about my marriage, my life, and the people around me came crashing down. You see, my wife Bridget has an identical twin sister, Sandra. And when I say identical, I mean identical. They could be each other's clones. They look exactly the same, and they go out of their way to maintain that. They go to the same hairstylist, get the exact same cut and color, shop at the same stores, buy the same clothes, and even go to the same gym. Honestly, it's almost impossible to tell them apart, except for a few subtle personality differences. Bridget is a little more reserved, thoughtful in what she says, while Sandra tends to be cruder and more outgoing. But even those differences were so small, I never thought much of it. Bridget and I met 2 years ago at a bar where I work as a bartender. From the very first night, we hit it off. She was the one who asked me out, and after only 8 months of dating, we got married. It was fast, but it felt right. We didn't have a big wedding, just a quick ceremony at the courthouse, and then she moved in with me. Life seemed perfect. I loved her more than anything, and I thought I had everything figured out. Sandra has always been around since day one. And honestly, I never thought anything strange about it. Twins are supposed to be close, right? They do everything together. Sometimes I'd feel like a third wheel when they'd hang out, but it was all innocent, or so I thought. Then last month we had a house party. Just a few close friends, a night of drinks, laughs, and fun. Of course, Sandra was there, like always. We all had a bit too much to drink, and as the night wound down, I told Bridget I was heading to bed. I figured the twins would pass out on the couch together after watching some movie or something. Nothing unusual. I'd just gotten into bed when Bridget, or at least I thought it was Bridget, came into the room. She didn't turn on the lights, which wasn't strange since we'd been drinking, and she slipped into bed next to me, completely naked. At first, I didn't think anything of it. I mean, we're married, we've done this 1,000 times. So when she initiated sex, I went along with it, assuming it was my wife. But the weird part was, it happened again around 5 a.m. I woke up because I had to use the bathroom, and when I got back, she wanted to go again. This time felt a little off, but I was half asleep and figured maybe she was just feeling extra affectionate. We had sex again, and I noticed she was really insistent that I finish inside her, which we normally don't do unless we're certain the risk of pregnancy is low. But I didn't think too much of it. The next morning, Bridget was already up, and Sandra had gone home. Everything seemed normal. We went about our day, and I didn't think twice about what had happened. In fact, for the next week, Bridget seemed unusually affectionate. We had sex every single day, sometimes twice a day, which was a little more than usual, but I didn't complain. I figured she was just in a good mood. Then a few days ago, I got a call from Sandra. She asked me if I could come over and help her hang some shelves in her new apartment. Nothing weird about that. I've helped her out before. But when I got there, she told me she had lied. She didn't need help with shelves. Instead, she handed me a pregnancy test. I was stunned. I congratulated her, thinking she was excited to tell Bridget, but then she said she needed to tell me first. That's when she told me I was the father. I didn't understand. I asked her what she meant, and she casually explained that during the party when she came into my room that night, It wasn't Bridget, it was her. She admitted she had gotten drunk and turned on and decided to have sex with me, pretending to be her sister. I thought I was going to pass out right there. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was furious, confused, and completely blindsided. I told her I had no idea it was her, that I would never have done that if I knew. But she insisted that I must have wanted her. She even said I was flirting with her all night, and that I didn't seem to mind when she got into bed. I couldn't believe it. She had deliberately deceived me, and now she was saying I was the father of her baby. I stormed out of her apartment, but before I left, I told her I wanted a paternity test. There was no way I was going to take her word for it. I was going to tell Bridget everything. Sandra had completely destroyed my life. When I got home, I was ready to confess everything to Bridget. But before I could say anything, she excitedly sat me down and told me she had news. She handed me a positive pregnancy test. Bridget was pregnant too. I felt like I was going to collapse. I had just found out her sister was pregnant with what she claimed was my child. And now my wife was pregnant too. I didn't know what to do. I was excited, terrified, and utterly lost. I couldn't bring myself to ruin Bridget's joy at that moment, so I kept quiet. I let her have her moment. But now I'm sitting here, knowing that I have to tell her the truth tomorrow. I have to tell her that her sister manipulated me, that she's pregnant, and that I might be the father. I don't know how Bridget will react. I don't know what will happen to our marriage. I'm terrified of losing her, but I can't keep this secret any longer. Sandra has completely ruined everything. Tomorrow, my entire life changes. If you want to know how this story unfolds, subscribe and turn on the notifications for part 2, where I'll reveal what happens when I finally confront my wife. Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts or advice. And trust me, you're not going to want to miss what's coming next.